In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a rubric in Grade Center. There are 5 different rubric types that you can select for your assessment design: points, point range, percent, percentage range, and no point or qualitative rubric. In one assessment of this sample course, students need to present their research proposal marked under 50 points. In the full Grade Center, I have created the research presentation to record the assessment marks. There is another video on how to create a column. I'm going to create a point rubric for this assessment. A point rubric allocates points for each criterion and level of achievement. The total number of points equal to the point possible for the assessment. Create a point rubric. From the control panel, go to Course Tool. Select Rubrics from the drop-down menu. Click onto the Create Rubric button. Enter Research Presentation onto the name text box. Description is optional and is not shown to the students. Select points for the rubric type. By default, there are 3 rows for the criteria, and there are 3 columns for the levels of achievement. You can add rows and add columns as required. And you can delete the row by clicking on the down arrow and click on Delete this row. You can edit the name of each criteria by clicking on the down arrow next to the criteria name. Click on to Edit and type the name of the criteria. Click Save. If you need to reorder the criteria, you can click on the Criteria button. Select the criteria that you need to change the order. Click on the down arrow or up, then click on the Submit button. Similarly, to change the levels of achievement, click on the Level of Achievement button. Select the level you want to change the order. Click on the Move Right or Move Left. Click onto the Submit button. You will need to add points to each of the level. Make sure the total points is 50 points as required for this assessment. You will then need to add description for each criteria level of achievement. When finished, click on the Submit button. This is the complete points rubric. You will need to attach this rubric to the assessment column in Grade Center. In full Grade Center, click on the down arrow of the assessment column. Select Edit Column Information. Click on Add Rubric. Select Rubric. Select Research Presentation Rubric. Click onto the Submit button. Click OK. The rubric is now attached to this assessment. If you selected the wrong one, you can click the cross button to delete it and select another rubric. Under Show Rubric to Student, select Yes with rubric scores so that the student can view their mark with the associated rubric. Click onto the Submit button. The rubric is now attached to the assessment for you to start marking. Alternatively, you might need a point range rubric for your assessment, in which each grid will show a range of points for each level of achievement. This rubric type gives you more options when marking, so your marking will be more precise. In order to create this rubric, go through the steps to create a rubric. Select Point Range from the Rubric Type drop-down menu. Enter the points in each level of achievement. The point has to be from the lower end to the higher end. Make sure the total point is equal to the total point possible that you have decided for this assessment. The third type is percent rubric, where you will decide the percentage of each criteria and for each level of achievement. To create a percent rubric, select percent from the rubric drop-down menu. Select Show Criteria Weight. Change the default percentage for each criteria and level of achievement. Make sure the total weight is 100%. When you have more criteria and you want a balanced weight among the criteria, you can select the option Balance Weights. The fourth type is percentage range rubric, where you will decide the percentage for each criteria and a range of percentage for each level of achievement for more precise marking. To create a percentage range rubric, select Percentage Range from the Rubric Type drop-down menu. Select Show Criteria Weight. Change the default percentage for each criteria. Enter the range of percentage for each level of achievement. The percentage has to be from lower range to the higher range. When you do not give mark but only comments on students' work, a qualitative rubric is a relevant option. To create a qualitative rubric, select No Point from the Rubric Type drop-down menu. Enter the description for each criteria and level of achievement.